I had the really good fortune back in 1978 and 1979 to attend classes with Shizuto Masunaga. Of course, many people are familiar with him as the originator, the developer of the Zen Shiatsu system, extending the meridians. Masunaga did a lot of other things as well. I was extremely fortunate to get invited to an advanced class that he offered. There was just a small group of 20 people there. Some of the practitioners that were well known, like Pauline Sasaki, was there, and Ohashi himself was there. And so Masunaga was teaching not only about the Zen meridians, but he's also talking about the attitude of Shiatsu. And I think that was a very important part of his teaching. Masunaga was also teaching adjustments. He was also teaching sotai. So he himself, even though most people know him for the Zen system, he had a very eclectic body of work that he himself applied during treatments. And that had a big influence on me. During the seminar, one thing that really captured everyone's attention is that when Masunaga called for a volunteer, as soon as they stood up and moved toward him, he would make the diagnosis. He would say, this is Kyo and this is Jitsu. And then everyone in the audience would look and say, how can he do that? How can he know that? So we went through a whole weekend of that. And then in this advanced class, we were all sitting together quietly. And Masunaga came out and he asked for a volunteer. And we were all waiting that he would immediately make the diagnosis. And the volunteer got up, walked slowly to the futon. Everyone's still waiting. And he's not saying anything. So everybody's wondering, within those few seconds, well, where's the diagnosis? So then this volunteer laid down on the futon, and Masunaga sat there in the seiza position, very straight, very quiet. And then he looked at all of the students, me included, and he said, I don't know. And in that moment, everyone was actually very joyful inside, because it was clear that in that moment, Masunaga himself didn't see it, didn't know. And so we realized that there's a possibility, even when you're a master, that still there are moments that you don't know. But then, after sitting quietly, I think the most important thing of the whole entire seminar happened. And he turned around, looked at all of the students, and he said, sometimes I don't know. But if I sit quietly with beginner's mind in my hara, then it will come to me. And that was the lesson. That we have an empty mind, beginner's mind. We observe and we don't look for something. We don't go out to catch something, but we just let it come to us. And that was his way to explain what we've been bringing up in the theme of this whole body chi diagnosis. We just look at the whole body. And the impression that we get then influences how we make the treatment. Does the person look frozen? Make more soft, melting? Does the person look more loose? Bring together? Just those simple associations that come to us, that impress us when we're looking before the treatment, when we're looking during the treatment, can guide the treatment in a very significant way, because we're dealing at the most fundamental level, and that is observing chi and then responding with giving something that's a balancing chi. And so I wanted to give that story about Masunaga's diagnosis. I think sometimes beginners even have an advantage because they don't know anything. They don't have preconceived ideas. They look and they respond. I think that's why it's so important, as we know more and we develop more concepts and theories, that we have the ability just to wipe the slate clean, the empty mind or beginning mind, and just receive the impression that comes to us without filtering it through our knowledge or that we're looking for something specific. We may have specific bodies of diagnosis that we use. We might use tongue diagnosis, pulse diagnosis, hara diagnosis. But after we treat over the years, we find out that sometimes the information is not coming clearly through one avenue or another avenue. And so it's good to be very diverse, even to the point where we just let go and see what comes to us. And it may oftentimes come in a way that's completely new. I think it's important that if we use a system that's working for us, that we're still flexible and realize that sometimes it's not going to give us the information that's most important. And sometimes the information that's most important comes in such a simple way that we don't recognize it. And that's more true if we have more knowledge.